Today, we're jumping into some seriously powerful ideas from the investor and philosopher Naval Ravikant. We're going to explore his framework for building wealth, and the key thing is, it has nothing to do with getting lucky. This is all about learning a skill.
So, let's just get right to it. Is getting rich just a roll of the dice? Is it something that only happens to other people? I think that's what a lot of us believe. But what if that's completely wrong? What if there's an actual system you can follow?
And boom, there it is. That's Naval's central point. He's so confident in this, he said that if you dropped him on any random street in an English-speaking country with nothing, he'd be wealthy again within 5 or 10 years. Not because he'd get lucky, but because he knows the rules of the game. He's learned the skill.
So where do we even begin with learning this skill? Well, it all starts with the foundation, the right mindset. It's about totally reframing how you even think about work.
You could work yourself to the bone waiting tables, 80 hours a week, and you're never going to get rich. So the key isn't just about pure brute force effort. It's about direction and strategy. It's about thinking before you act.
Okay, this next part is absolutely crucial. Before you can even start to build wealth, you have to get crystal clear on what it is, and more importantly, what it isn't.
This right here, this is the goal. Wealth isn't the number on your paycheck. It's the business, the investment, the software, the thing that's out there working for you 24/7, even when you're on vacation or fast asleep. That is what buys you your freedom.
And look at this breakdown. Money is just a tool we use to move wealth around. But the really critical distinction here is between wealth and status. The game of wealth is positive sum. We can all create new things and all get wealthier together. But status? That's a zero-sum game. For someone to climb up the ladder, someone else has to be pushed down.
And this is why it is so important to know which game you're playing. Status games, by their very nature, make you competitive and combative. You have to tear others down to build yourself up. The wealth game is about creating. It's about baking a bigger pie for everyone, not fighting over the same small slices.
So, if we're going to play this wealth creation game, what are the tools? What do we actually need in our toolkit? Well, Naval lays out a very clear 3-part answer. It all comes down to these 3 pillars: specific knowledge, accountability, and leverage. Think of it like a 3-legged stool. You need all 3 for it to be stable. Let's dig into each one. Okay, what on earth is specific knowledge? Well, it's not something you can learn in a college course. Here's why. If society can train you to do it, it can train someone else to do it cheaper. Specific knowledge is something that's uniquely yours. It's at the intersection of your natural talents and your deep, genuine curiosity. And this is the ultimate test for finding yours. What's that thing that you can get lost in for hours, that you do for fun, that you're just obsessed with? That's probably it. Because to you, it feels like play. You can put in the time and effort that no one who's just working can ever compete with. You escape competition by just being yourself.
All right, pillar number 2, accountability. And yeah, this one can be scary. It means putting your name on the line. It means taking risks where you're responsible for the outcome. But without it, society will never give you the big rewards, the equity, the trust, and, as we'll see, the leverage.
Okay, so you've found your specific knowledge and you're willing to be accountable? Now, it's time to add the rocket fuel. This is the great force multiplier. We're talking about leverage. You've probably heard this quote from Archimedes before, but it is the perfect way to think about leverage. It's how you disconnect your effort from your results. It's how your judgment can be magnified 1,000 or even 1,000,000 times over.
Now, this slide is maybe one of the most important concepts for our modern age. In the past, leverage meant capital, you needed someone to give you money, or labor, you needed people to work for you. That's permissioned leverage. But today, the most powerful forms of leverage are permissionless. You don't need anyone's approval to write code or to create media.
This is how the new fortunes are being built. You can create an army of software bots or a media library that works for you around the clock. If you can't code, you can write, you can record. These are the tools that let you scale your specific knowledge to the entire world, and you can start today.
So you have the tools, you have the pillars, but none of it matters without the right perspective. Wealth isn't built overnight. It's the results of playing long-term games with long-term people.
We all get the idea of compound interest when it comes to money. But the really deep insight is that it applies to everything. Your reputation compounds over time. Your relationships compound. Your knowledge compounds. All the really big payoffs in life come from sticking with things and letting them grow. And this quote just ties it all together so perfectly.
When you build on your own unique, specific knowledge, when you are authentically you, and you scale that with leverage, well, who can compete with you? No one can be you better than you can. Because you see, at the end of the day, this whole quest isn't really about piling up cash. It's about buying back your time. It's about gaining your freedom. Freedom to do what you want, when you want, with who you want. And the surest path there is to find that thing that you would do for free and then build your life around it.
And we'll leave you with that final, pretty deep thought from Naval. The journey to wealth, it turns out, is also a journey of self-discovery. And what you find at the finish line might just surprise you. But, as he says, that's a story for another day.